Onua, LEARNAKAN. So you're welcome back to another episode of the LEARNAKAN Media Dialogue Review Series. And today's clip is taken from another scene in a movie titled ADỌFOASA. We've already learned from a clip from this particular movie. I'll leave a link to that up here. In that particular episode, I gave you a background to the movie, which we are not going to go over again in this particular episode. But this scene opens with ADỌFOASA, who is the main character of the movie, having gone to sell her cassava. And she gets to this old woman and she tries to convince her to buy, some of her cassava. And this is what ensues between them.
Ago. Oh my. I won't patch up. Madame Banchi quite chimanam say, may the fire be say, will be to be a mammy. Minana Okusi, when you found Kubedi, and so were draw and now Conibon. Mampacho Sikana Okana, me banche de any bonya de Nina one city. And yes, Cassam, Scadi, a people mean to my arm. And so you obey war. You are meeting me a woman, so better be meeting me a woman. Would you talk a crack, mammy? Kufia, oh, papa, Omo. You, papa, send me over for a mouth. I will be papa the banches, so mammy, meet me the chick could drain you now. You told me, no, my son, dear Kufi. Tis a me papa say, so what to me banch in your mamma wolf for a mower, then you crab a chicken. What can I see? San Syria seem. So was some tree. One come over patra, one come in the clamine. I saw Bawama, my dear, metum, no matter banchina. I will be turning your mammy to my wama to do yamin sram. If I tell into Onkwana with you now, only some know a bit. But you will see if I tell where you are about the other.
So from a distance, ADỌFOASA goes like Ago. And we've learned in a previous lesson that this Ago is a general expression that we use to draw people's attention. So there are different use cases for this, but in this particular lesson, we said that 3 of the most common use cases of this is number 1, when you're in Ghana and you go to town, so like in the market, you'll find that the kayayis, the head porters, when they are carrying heavy loads and they are coming through, they want you to make way. So they'll be going like ago, ago, ago to draw your attention that you should make way. Another is in meetings, so like family gatherings and meetings at the palace and all that. When someone is about to speak, they will usually go like Ago to draw people's attention. So let's say people are chatting here and there and you want to speak, you stand up and you go like Ago, so that you draw the attention that you are about to speak, and then you'll be given the floor to speak. The last one that we talked about in that particular lesson is at the door. So right now, for example, I'm inside. When someone is by my door and wants to draw my attention that, he's out there, he'll go like, Ago, okay, Ago. So this is like equivalent to what you have as knock knock, right? So in that lesson, we said that the typical response to this Ago is Amen. Amen. So during a meeting, when someone goes like Ago, you will typically hear people respond with Amen. Okay, and as I'm here, if I hear Ago, I'll respond with Amen.
Oh my.
Awo mahe. Awo is a general name that we give to old women. And then she said mahe. Maha is the short form of memawo aha. So we have maha or memawo aha, and that means good afternoon. If you took this lesson, good morning is memawo achi, or the short form machi. And then we have good afternoon as memawo aha, the short form being maha, which she uses here. And then we have good evening as memawo ajo, the short form being majo.
Ne a wompacho me de banche kwa chima nam se me de fa ha bisa se obeto bia mame.
Awo me pacho me de banche kwa chima ena me se me de fa ha ebisa se obeto bia mame a. Let's start with me pacho. We all know me pacho is please, right? The short form of me pawocho. Okay, me pawocho, please. Me de banche kwa chima. First we have banche. Banche is cassava. Okay, so we have banche as cassava. That is what we use to, prepare fufu. Okay, so we have banche as cassava. We have bordie as plantain. Now we have ko echima, and that is to go hawking. All right, so when you carry stuff on your head and then you go around trying to sell it, we say ko echima. So she says, me pachel me de banche ko echima. Please, I am going hawking with cassava. Okay, so I'm going around trying to sell cassava. And now me say me de faha, and then I said, oh, let me pass here. All right, let me pass through your place. Ebisa se ubeto biya mamia. The first verb here is bisa, and bisa means to ask. All right, to ask. The second verb is to, and to means to buy. Okay, so we have me pachel me de banche ko echima and na me se me de faha ebisa se ubeto biya mamia. Please, I'm going hawking with the cassava, and I thought I should pass through your place and ask if you will buy some for me. Me nana. So we have nana here as grandchild, all right, and that is being possessed by the possessive adjective my, me here. So we have me nana, my grandchild.
Okusi, when you find Kobedi, so what draw and uncle bone.
Okusi, when you fufua nkobedi, nanso wadro na anko de bom. Let's start with okusie. Okusie is a rat. Okay, so we have okusie or kusie as a rat. And then we have ekura as a mouse. Okay, so there's ekura, mouse, and then we have kusie or okusie as a rat. So we have okusie, onyafufua. The verb here is nya, which is to get, right? So I can say Kwame enyesika. Kwame has gotten money, right? So onyafufua, if he or she gets fufu, right? So we have the F at the end, right? So we have onyafufua, if he or she gets fufu, enka obedi, he or she would have eaten it, right? So menana, my grandchild, the rat, if he had fufu, he would have eaten it. If he had the chance to eat fufu, he would have eaten it. Nanso wedro na ankoni bomu. We have wedro, and wedro is mortar. It's the wooden thing that we pound fufu in. I'll put a picture here. So we have wedro, that is what we pound fufu in. And then we have warmer, and that is the pestle that we use to pound. And then we have bone, and bone is coming from a bone, and a bone is a barrow like a hole in the ground, right? So we have animals in the bush who dig holes in the ground, and that is where they live, right? And okusie is one of them. Okay, so we have menana, okusie onyafufua nkobedi. Nanso wedro na anko ni bomu. The verb here is ko, to go, but then it's negative and it's in the past, right? In the past episodes, we learned that if you have a verb and the verb does not start with b, p, f, you form its negative by bringing the negative marker as in n in front, and then you have its negative. Okay, if the verb starts with b, p, f, then you bring the negative marker as in m in front, and then you have the negative. And then to situate that negative verb in the past, you simply bring a in front of that. Okay, so we have ko here, which is to go, right? the in front makes it negative. So we have to not go. But then it's in the past. So we have a in front, did not go. Okay? So we have menana okusie onyofufu a nkobedi. Nanso wadro na ankoni bomu. If the rat had the means, he or she would have eaten fufu. But the wadro, which is the mortar, didn't fit into his barrel, right? It didn't go inside because it's big, so it can't make its way down into the hole. So this whole thing is a very popular saying. This is what we used to say, that it's not everything that we wish for that we actually get, right? This in English is what you have as if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Okay, so if you ever want to say something like that in Chi, this is how it is said. Ma, me pachel sika na wokana. Ma is like mom. Okay, so she's now referring to her as mother. Me pachel, please, we already know that. And then there is sika. Sika is money. So ma, me pachel sika na wokana. Ma, please, is it money that you are talking about? We use this ana at the end, which literally means or, right? We covered that in this lesson, but you can attach this to the end of a statement to turn it into a question.
Ana, and ana is akan, meaning or it could mean is it not, or it could mean what do you think, what's your opinion, or am I right?
So when she says ma me pacho sika na wo kana, it's ma, please, is it money that you are talking about?
Me banche de ni bonya di ni na e wansidi.
Me banche die ni bonya dio. So now we know banche is what? Cassava, okay? And then we said plantain is bordie, right? So we have me banche die. As for my cassava, we said this die, if you put it after something, you are saying as for whatever came before that. So me die, as for me. Wo die, as for you. Me banche die, as for my cassava. Ne buonya dio. It's not expensive. In this lesson, when we conveyed some of the most popular adjectives that there are in Chi, we talked about this. So if something is expensive, we say ne buodin. Okay, ne buodin. So I can say, for example, atadie no buodin, right? Atadie no buodin. That means the shirt is expensive. Now, if it is not expensive, so inexpensive, then we say ne buonye din. Ne buonye din. It is inexpensive, right? So that is what she's using here. She says, me banche die, as for my cassava, ne buonye din. It's not expensive. Ni nyina ye 1 cedi. Nyina is all. If you say ni nyina, you are saying its entirety. So like everything, right? All of what you have is 1 cedi. We said sika is money. If you attach sem, which is from asem means an issue. So if you attach asem to sika, you get sikasem, and that is money issue, right? So issue concerning money. But she said, enye sikasem, it is not about money. It's not money issue. Sika die, as for money, ebi wo mentuma yano, we have ebi, which is some. Okay, ebi, some. Now this sum is in reference to the money, because she said, sika die, as for money, ebi, some wo mentuma yano. We have ntuma, which is a cloth, right? A cloth. Ano is the tip of something, right? The end of something. So when she says ebi wo mentuma yano, it means there is some at the end of my cloth. You know, our mothers and our grandparents, they used to, tie their money at the end of their cloth. And then when they need money, they will just untie it and then take it out, right? So she's saying that sika die ebi wo mentuma yano. As for money, I have some at the end of my cloth here, right? Nanso nia obewo. So we have this nanso, which is but. We have a lesson on this. It's up here. So we have nanso as but, and this nia is the same as dear. And here it means the one who. So we have nanso nia. The verb here is wo, and wo means to pound. Of course, wo is a 2-letter word, so it can mean several other things. But in the context of fufu, wo means to pound. Okay, so nanso nia obewo, but the one who will pound, right? So overall, she's saying, enye sikasem, it's not about money. Sikadie, as for money, ebi wo mentuma yiano. There is some at the end of this, my cloth. Nanso nia obewo, but the one who will pound, right? So she has the money, but she doesn't have anyone who will pound the fufu for her. So that is why she said earlier that okusie nya fufu a nkobedi nanso wadro na anko ne bom.
Miakra metumi awama.
Miakra metumi awama. So we have mia, which is I myself. In a previous lesson we said we use this ara after a pronoun to intensify it. So when I say mia, it means I myself, right? So I'm using the ara to intensify the fact that I'm talking about I, like it's I myself. Kra is even. So mia kra, even I myself, made to me, we said to me means to be able, to be capable, right? Awo, what we said is to pound. Amao, for you. So mia kra made to me awamao. Even I myself can pound it for you. Okay, so if it's about that, then even I myself can pound for you.
So beto bi nko metumi awama.
Sewubeto bi nko a metumi awama. So for the first clause we have sewubeto bi nko a. There is se in front and a at the end, which means this is an if or when clause, right? We said if you have se and a and you have something in the middle, it signifies that we have, an if clause or a when clause. So we have the verb here as to, which is to buy. So we have sewubeto, if you will buy. And then there is nkwa. Nkwa means only or alone. So if I say wonkwa na medo, it means it is only you that I love. So here we have sewubeto bi nkwa, if only you will buy some. We said the B is some, right? B or a B. So we have sewubeto bi nkwa, if only you will buy some. Metumi awama. We said to me means to be able. So metumi awama, I can pound it for you. What
talk kakra
mami? The verb here again is to, which is to buy, right? And then we have kakra, which is a little, right? Kakra is a little. And then we just learned that kra is even. So what talk kakra mamia? Even if you buy a little for me, so she's willing to pound the fufu for her, even if she buys a little of, the cassava.
Kufia, o papa, omo.
Now kufia, o papa, omo. Again, the verb here is ko, which is to go. And then we have fie, which is the home, right? So she's asking, now kufia, but when you go home, right? O papa, papa is father, right? So o papa, your father. Omo, will he not beat you? So this is actually the future negative. And the standard way of writing this would have been oremo, because that is how the future negative is formed. You bring re in front of the negative verb, okay? So we have oremo, will he not beat you in the future? But when you are saying it, we normally will not say oremo. You hear omo. And this is the case with all negative tree verbs in the future. We have a lesson on this on LEARNAKAN.com. So nauko fia, o papa, omo. But when you go home, your father, will he not beat you?
Me papa, say me fufu amao.
Me papa, my father. So do you mean my father? Me papa, say me fufu amao. That I will pound fufu for you. So are you asking me if my father will beat me up for pounded fufu for you? Is that what you're asking? Okay, so you have the se in front here, which is that.
Awo, me papa de banchi so mami amitimi di chin krodua nyina. Yentobi ni masande akofie.
Me papa de banchi so mami a. We have me papa, which is my father, right? And then we said banchi is cassava. Suma is a verb that means to send, but to send as in to send someone on an errand. Okay, so I can say me mami asumami. My mother has sent me on an errand. Okay, so me papa de banchi sumami a. When my father sends me on an errand, as in to go and sell the cassava, me to me the chini krodua nyina. The verb here is chini, which means to roam. Okay, to roam. So me to me the chini krodua nyina, we said nyina is all. Me papa de banchi sumami a. Me to me the chini krodua nyina. When my father sends me to go and sell this cassava, I can roam this entire town with it.
Yentobi ni masande akofie.
To is to buy. The in front is the negative marker, which means this is to not buy, right? And then we said B is some. So when my father sends me to go and sell this cassava, I can roam this entire town with the cassava and no one will buy some. Na masign the akofie. Na masign the akofie, and then I will return home with it, as in with the cassava. So we have sign here, which is to go back, to return, right? And then the second verb is ko, which is to go. And then we learn that fie or efie is the home. So nama sign the akofie, and then I'll return back home with it.
Tisa me papa te so wato me banchi ni mama wo fufu amawa. Nani kura beche keke. Wakan wati.
Enti se me papa te se wato me banchi nyina amama wo fufu amawa. Nani kura beche keke. We have enti in front, and that is so, right? So then we have se me papa te se wato me banchi nyina amama wo fufu amawa. So all that is actually enclosed in an if clause. So there is se in front and there is a at the end, right? Me papa, my father, te, and te is a two-letter word which means it will have several other meanings. But here, te means to hear, right? To hear. So if my father hears, say that what you have bought, right? You have bought. So there's a in the middle, which is the perfect marker, right? So have or has. So what you have bought. Me banchi nyina all my cassava, right? We said nyina is all and banchi is cassava. So me banchi my cassava, right? So se me papa te say what me banchi nyina. If my father hears that you've bought all my cassava, ama mawo ufufu amawa, and for that reason I have pounded your fufu for you. Neni kra beji keke. So we have the phrasal verb eni je here, and that means to be happy. This is included in the adjectives lesson. It's up here. So eni je means to be happy. So if I say menia je, it means I am happy, right? But here she is talking about it in the future. So she's saying neni kra beje. So the be in front of the j is the future tense marker. Well, so we have neni kra beje. He will even be happy, right? Neni kra beje. We said kra means even, right? And then there is keke at the end, and that is jest. So enti se me papa te se wato me banchi nyina amama wo fufu amawa neni kra beje keke. So if my father hears that you've bought all my cassava for me, and for that reason I've stayed behind to pound your fufu for you, he will even just be happy. Okay, because usually when she goes around selling, they don't buy, and then she returns with the cassava home. To that, Awo says, waka mate. Waka mate. If you've said so, I've heard you. So we have ka, which is to say. The a at the end is the if clause particle. So we said if you find something enclosed within se, then that, should tell you that you are dealing with an if or when clause, okay? But we are able to do away with the initial set and maintain just the are at the end, and that still stays as the if or when clause. And that is how this is being used. So instead of waka mate, this could have been se waka mate. So we said ka is to say, and then te is to hear, right? So waka mate. If you've said so, I've heard you.
Sanse we are seeing asuo busomtwe wan kama wapatra won kama ne kraman nam.
Esane say we are seeing mu asuo busomtwe wan kama wapatra won kama no kraman nam. Let's start with esane say. In this lesson we said esane say means because, all right? Because you can use esane say or if we say. So we have esane say because wiase mu, we have wiase, which is the world. The full word is wiase. Okay, so the world. So we have wiase mu or wiase mu. In this world, esio bosomche. Esio is a water body, right? So like a river, a stream, a lake and all that. So we have esio bosomche. So the water body that is called bosomche. Now, when you go to the Ashanti region, there is a lake that is called Lake Bosomche. It's quite popular. So that is what she's referencing here. Wan kame wo apatra. The verb kame means to deny someone of something that you can actually give out. Okay? So for example, let's say I'm married and my wife is denying me of sex. So my wife is denying me of her body, right? I can say, meyere dene ho akame me. So my wife has denied me of her body. All right, so that is that verb here. So we have esio bosomche, the water body or the lake bosomche. Wan kame wo apatra. Apatra is tilapia, right? So the fish tilapia, we have that as apatre. So if the lake bosomche does not deny you of apatre tilapia, won kame no kraman, you also do not deny him, as in, Lake Bosomche. Kraman nam. Kraman is a dog, all right? Kraman or kraman is a dog. And then we have nam, which is meat. So kraman nam is dog meat. Now, this is an example of what we call asem sebe in Chi. Asem sebe. We said asem is an issue. Se means to resemble, and then we have be from ebe, which is a proverb. So asem sebe literally means an issue that resembles a proverb. So as the literal breakdown suggests, this is a type of proverb that has its roots in historical facts. So there are stories and historical facts that we came to hear, and sometimes from these stories and historical facts we get some of these proverbs that we call asem sebe. So this is one example of that. So history has it that, and please, this is stories that we came to hear. So if it's wrong, then I'm wrong. But history has it that this Lake Bosomche, if you're a fisherman and then you go on the lake to, catch fish, before you get a good catch, so a good catch of this apatre, the tilapia, you first need to sacrifice a dog to the lake. So you kill a dog and then you use the blood as sacrifice to the lake. And after that, when you go on the lake, you get a good catch, right? So from that, we got this proverb, this asem sebe, esio bosomche, wan kame wa patra, wonso won kame no kraman. So if the lake bosomche does not deny you of a good catch of this apatre, then you also do not deny him of dog meat. Okay? Now, this is actually what you have in English as one good deed deserves another. Okay? So, if you ever want to say something like that in Chi, you can use this proverb and it should be good. If only you pound it for me like you say, then I'll also help you and buy all the cassava. So this goes back to support, the proverb that if only you will help me out, then I'll also help you out. Esuobo so nche wan kame wa patra won so won kame no kraman nam.
Awo beto ni nyina mama beto. Me wa ma dudu nyame nshira.
Awo wo beto ni nyina mama. So she's obviously excited. So she's asking, wo beto ni nyina mama, you buy all for me, right? You buy it all for me. We said nyina is all. And then Awo says, meto ni nyina, I'll buy all of it. To that, ADỌFOASA says, me wa ma ododo. Me wa ma ododo. We said what means to pound in this context, all right? Because this is a 2-letter word. It can have several other meanings, but here we have it as to pound. So she says, me wa ma ododo. Dodo means too much, right? Too much. So I can say, for example, wo kasa dodo. Wo kasa dodo. You talk too much, right? But here she's using it to, tell the woman how, excited she is to pound. So she's really going to pound it for her. I'll pound it for you too much. So she's obviously going to do it to the best of her ability, okay? Because the woman has promised to buy it all for her. And then she says, Nyami Shrao. Nyami Shrao. Nyami here is a name that some people use to refer to God, okay? So we have different names that different people use to refer to God, and this is one of them. The verb here is shira, which is to bless, all right? So when you say Nyamin Shrao or Onyankopon Shrao or Eradin Shrao or Yehovah Shrao, you are saying God bless you.
Inti wonkwa na wudi ana woni same na woni bedi.
Inti wonkwa na wudi ana woni. We said wonkwa means alone or only. The verb di is a 2-letter word which means it can have several other meanings, but here di is used as to eat. The transitive version, di, to eat. So we have mepawchel inti wonkwa na wudi ana woni. Please, are you going to be eating it alone or you and then Awo says, se me no wo na ebedi. Se me ne wo na ebedi. It is the case that, so we have the se as it is the case that me ne wo, me is I, ne is and, wo is you, right? And then we have the di verb here to eat. But before that, there is be, which is future tense marker, well. So it is the case that you and I are the ones who are going to eat it. So when ADỌFOASA asked if she's going to be eating it alone or she has plans of eating it with someone else, she is responding to that by saying, well, I'm going to be eating with you. And to that, ADỌFOASA says, mepachel yo. Mepachel yo. So we have mepachel as please, and then we have yo as okay.
Wo bodie dada.
Wo bodie dada. The verb here is wo, which is to have. We have a lesson on this. It's up here. So we have wo bodie dada. We said bodie is what? Plantain, okay? So we have bodie as plantain, and you have dada. Now this dada is an adverb. It means already. There's a lesson on this. It's up here. So you have wo bodie dada. Do you have plantain already?
Se besoye. Aye.
Se ebesoye. Again, the se in front is it is the case that, right? So that is the fact. It is the case that ebesoye. The verb here is so, and so means to be up to the required amount or quantity. Okay? So let's say I owe you 5,000 Ghana cedis, right? And then I come back to pay, and then I give you 5,000 Ghana cedis. And then I ask you, asun. When I ask you asun, I'm asking, is it up to it, up to the amount that is expected? Okay? If it's up to you, say ane asun. If it's not up to, the required amount, then you say there be. And so let's say you need 10 sticks to do something. So you send me to go and get you some sticks. And then I bring, say, 9. And then I ask you, ebeson, will it be up to what you expect, what you require? If it will be up to you, say, ane, ebeson. If it will not be up to it, you say, there be, and so. And it's not just with numbers. When you are given food, for example, and after eating it, you are asked, ason, right? Or eduane ason. Then we are asking you if, you are satisfied by the food in terms of quantity. If, it was enough for you, then you say, ane asome, right? Eduane asome. But if it's not enough, you will say, oh, eduane no ansome, right? Eduane no ansome. So that is what she's asking here. She's asking, se ebesuye. It is the case that it will be enough for us, as in what you have taken out, the cassava that you have taken out. I'm asking if it will be enough for us. What do you think? Okay? And to that, ADỌFOASA says, ane, yes.
Ago. Oh my. There won't patch up. Madam Banchi quite chimanam say, may the fire be say, will be to be a mammy. Minana Okusi, when you found Kubedi, so we'll draw and Uncle Nibon. Mampacho Sikana Okana, me banche de any bonya the Nini one city. And yes, Cassam, Scadi, a people mean to my arm. And soon you obey war. Oh, you are meeting me a woman, so better be meeting me a woman. Would you talk a crack, mammy? Kufia, oh, papa, Omo. No, papa, say no for a mouth. Awo, me papa de banchi so mammy, meeting me the chin crude drain yen Toby, no masandi a coffee. Tis a me papa say, so what to me banchi near mamma wolf for a mawa, then you crab a chicken. What can I see? Sanse we are seeing. So was some tree. One come over patra, was one coming a clamine now. I saw but why, mammy dear, metum, no matter banchina. I will be turning a mammy between me, mamma, the Yamin Sram. If I tell into Onkwana Wodia now, only some know a bit. But you will see, if I tell where you about that. Say, Bessie, Yes, Christo Bramo. Nasa brasses up